According to Football Manager, the most popular formation on FM24 is the 4-3-3. Sounds like the perfect formation for my next Euros challenge. And the Netherlands seem like the perfect team for the formation. As we did in the previous challenge with Serbia, I've picked the real-life squad. And I've brought over the 4-3-3 tactic I use in my save with Liechtenstein. Star of the team is undoubtedly Virgil van Dijk. The ultimate ball-playing defender, just please stay fit. De Ligt always provides quality in defence, as does Nathan Ake, even though we'll be playing him at left back. Frankie de Jong will be our playmaker in midfield, and young Xavi Simons will link midfield and attack. We have decent options up front, if nothing spectacular, though Mellon's performance in our warm-up game with Italy suggests otherwise. We start with a tough game though, against the last team we played in the Serbia Challenge episode. Yep, France. Not the best of starts as we found ourselves behind to this Griezmann goal early on. We wouldn't be behind for long though, as Nathan Ake made a marauding run and got the goal. France retook the lead before half-time, Dembele getting in on goal far too easily. Why didn't you close him down, Virgil? We appeared to be heading for defeat until Weghorst headed home in stoppage time, a barely deserved draw. We would have to do much better in our next game against Poland. We got off to the perfect start as de Jong was tripped in the area. Koopmeiners confidently stroking home the penalty. A beautiful move down the left flank then saw Marlon get into a great position and hit the post, but then fire in the rebound. Late in the half, we gave Moder too much space as Poland managed to pull one back. But we shut them down in the second half and held on for the win. 4 points on the board, and with Austria left to play, we were looking good for qualification. Have I just spoken too soon? Possibly, as early in the second half, Gregoritsch scored from distance. And that proved to be the only goal of the game, which made for the tightest group table ever. All four teams finishing on 4 points, with the Netherlands barely scraping through as one of the best third-place teams. Unlucky Austria. But as we had finished third, that meant we had to play one of the group winners in the round of 16. A fact made even worse when I realised we had finished third by random draw, and now had to face the defending champions, Italy. Yikes, so maybe the 4-3-3 isn't the go-to formation after all. We were on the back foot early on as Politano charged through and opened the scoring. It would take us until the hour mark to respond, Xavi Simons going on a mazy run and laying the ball off for Memphis Depay. We were soon trailing again though, as Immobile got behind our defence to make it 2-1. So we turned to big match Weghorst, who pounced on an errant back pass to level the scores. And then got into the 6-yard box to tap in Gakpo's cross with only 2 minutes left, which was enough for the win. So we've made it to the quarterfinals, and for the second challenge episode in a row, we have a huge rivals clash, this time with Germany. Tensions were high, and it wasn't long before it started getting a bit niggly as we gave away a penalty. We were level by half-time thanks to some opportune play from Virgil van Dijk, leading to a goal from Cody Gakpo. Fulkrug restored the lead for the hosts in the second half with this tap-in. Van Dijk was in the thick of it again as he was pushed to win a penalty. Koopmeiners again doing his thing. Into extra time then, and Germany appeared to have it won when Sule headed home. But there was to be a late twist, not Weghorst this time, but Xavi Simons. That meant a penalty shootout. Both teams confidently scored their first two apiece. Gundogan made it 3-2, and then poor Xavi Simons became the first player to miss. Sane then scored, meaning Marlon had to do the same. Thankfully he did. Musiala then had the chance to win it for the hosts, but Bijlow literally saved the day. Virgil van Dijk and Gosens both scored as we went to sudden death, as did Frankie de Jong, and then Marius Wolf fluffed his lines. We advanced as the hosts crashed out. Germany manager Nagelsmann seemed to have a problem with my attitude post-game. Me, unprofessional antics, I'm always a role model for respectful behaviour, don't you know? So I told him to shut his mouth. Anyway, Now we focus on the semi-finals and look at this lineup. 3 of the 4 teams in the semis came from Group D. Austria must be really kicking themselves about that 4th place now. But wait, we got France again. This time we took the game to the French though and got our rewards as Frenkie de Jong opened the scoring, only for Saliba to equalise in the second half. France thought they had taken the lead with this cheeky backheel from Giroud, but it was offside. And so it was penalties again. Both teams were relentless, with spot kick after spot kick, finding the back of the net. Griezmann didn't miss, and neither did Frenkie de Jong, but then Rabiot fired one too close to Bijlow, giving Dumfries the chance to send us to the final, which he did. 2 penalty shootouts in a row. And the Group D reunion would continue in the final as we played Poland again. We of course lined up with our patented 4-3-3, keeping Simmons and Weghorst on the bench for the big finish, while Poland went for what is probably the second most popular tactic on Football Manager, the 4-2-3-1. After a quiet opening first half hour, Poland broke the deadlock with Lewandowski charging down the wing, the ball finding its way to Szymanski. We had to wait until the second half for a clear-cut chance. Coop Miners playing in Gakpo through the centre to equalise. The Poles appealed for an offside, but it wasn't given. Lewandowski almost put Poland back in the lead with a fierce free kick pushed wide by Bijlow. Frenkie de Jong broke through the centre and went close just after the hour mark. And our defence went AWOL with just 10 minutes to play as Zalewski waltzed in like G-Fed entering a sports venue. There would be a late twist though, and thankfully it came our way as Marlen broke through and Gakpo scored from close range. Meaning that, oh yes, 4-3-3 is deservedly the #1 formation on Football Manager, and not just some average Joe gimmick. I took the plaudits after the game, praised by the Dutch FA, praised by the players, and worshipped by the fans. Xavi Simons was acknowledged as best young player, and was somewhat surprisingly the only Dutch player featured in the Dream Team. But that doesn't matter, we have won the Euros with the best tactic out there. As for which team we do the Euros with next time, well that is a surprise.